Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are having a chill day today. In this video, I'm going to be covering indexed finance. You'll get a very short and simple introduction to the project. I'll go over all of the indexes that they support, and I'll share with you guys which one I have exposure to. Afterwards, I'll show you guys a couple easy ways to get started, and seeing how they have their own governance token, I'll end the video by giving you guys my closing thoughts on the project. I started liquidity mining on the platform back in early January, and I shared this in my newsletter, and I also shared this in my private Discord. So if you're interested in getting the information ahead of time before I publish a video, you should definitely consider signing up for my newsletter and or joining my Discord channel. And if Discord isn't your thing, at the very least, you guys should check out my Twitter profile. It's a great way for you guys to get market insights and get an idea of which projects I'm interested in. All the relevant links can be found in the description box below. With the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this video. Alright, to kickstart this video, let's talk about what Index exactly is. Index Finance is a project focused on the development of passive portfolio management strategies for the Ethereum network. Their index pool contract that hosts all these market cap weighted assets is a fork of Balancer Pool. They've iterated on the initial design by enabling more dynamic pool management. In this way, the index pools are tokenized portfolios that double as automated market makers. This project also has a governance token, ticker NDX, which is currently trading at $6 with a market cap of 20 million. It's used to vote on proposals for protocol updates, high-level index management such as definition of market sectors, and the creation of new management strategies. The first products that they developed include a set of capitalization-weighted index pools designed to replicate the behavior of index funds. And historically speaking, especially within the last decade, index funds have returned better and more consistent returns than actively managed funds on the stock market. Not only that, it saves investors a lot of time rather than spending countless hours keeping up to date with all these different assets. You can instead buy an index product, which not only will save you more time, but is also likely to make you more money. Now, these index pools routinely balance their underlying assets in order to provide better representation of the market sectors they track. Portfolio targets are set using on-chain data from Uniswap and preset rules defined in smart contracts. Now that you guys have a general understanding of how these index pools work, let's take a deeper dive on the index tokens themselves. The tokens are basically balancer liquidity tokens representing ownership in a pool comprising of the tokens currently within the index. The members of these pools have target weights assigned to them, and the differences between the current and target weights are evened out via arbitrage. In other words, whenever there's price fluctuations between the various assets, this arbitrage function that's programmed into the protocol will make sure that the preset allocations are maintained. And each one of these indexes has two groupings. One grouping is the currently active tokens within the associated balancer pool. And then there's a secondary candidate list of tokens waiting on the sideline, ready to be switched in based on the parameters that were entered in when the index token was designed. And periodically, the target weights of member pools are reallocated on chain. And if need be, the current list gets adjusted due to shifts in the performance of the tokens. All the strategies are based on the square root of market capitalizations. And as time goes by, they do plan to introduce a wider range of strategies. For instance, I've for a long time wanted to make an index token for all the automated market maker tokens out there. This would include projects like SushiSwap, Bancor, ThorChain, and many others. Now, even though I think it's a great start to just the pools using market capitalizations of the various assets, I'd also like to add in other parameters in there like total value locked, the volume that's traded on the various MMs, or even a fancy metric of a moving average. For example, that would measure the number of users that use any given MM on a weekly basis. And given that this project started just a few months ago and the market cap is very low, I believe this project has a lot of upside. From what I understand, a lot of big brains are behind the project, and if you look at the composition of their community, you can see that there's a lot of big brain degens that are also supporting the work that the project is doing. And I see this clearly reflected in the DEGEN index token. Breadphone Crypto is an anon on Twitter who has a lot of deep knowledge on DeFi and is pretty well respected by the DeFi community. Teamed up with OXBay, another anon, to create the index token. They've spent months and years researching the DeFi space, and through their research, they've decided to add the following tokens to the index. And in my view, they've done a pretty good job. I've done research on all these projects, and I can tell you for the most part, these are pretty solid picks. And you have to remember, these aren't a bunch of suits behind desks. These are very passionate and knowledgeable community members who came up with this list of tokens to be added to the index. What's pretty cool about this index is that they're going to be using assets with a circulating market capitalization ranging from 50 million to 2 billion. If any of the tokens fall out of these bounds, they'll be replaced via periodic reindexing by the largest market cap token drawn from a list of alternatives. The hope is that the index will constantly evolve to capture upside from tokens during their most rapid growth phases. And in case you're curious about which tokens could potentially be switched in, here's a list that was published on Medium. In addition to DEGEN, they also have other indexes. The CC10 and the DeFi 5 are basically their large cap indexes, and you have a medium cap index called Oracle. When I first started using the platform, I got exposure to the CC10, but once the DEGEN index came out, I sold everything for the DEGEN index. That's largely because I already had an optimistic outlook for a lot of the projects that they added to their index, and I like the fact that they would auto-substitute alternatives once a token exceeded a certain market cap. Now, switching over, if you guys were interested in buying any one of the indexes, you can actually buy them in a few ways. For instance, you can come over here to Zerian, which I would recommend that all of you guys get, especially if you guys are into DeFi. And to the left here, click on Invest, and it'll take you to this page. Just type in the name of the index that you want to buy. So for the example that I'm using here, I want to buy the DEGEN index. Once it populates, you click on it. Just make sure you have your wallet connected, and you can easily pay with any of the currencies that they support here to buy the DEGEN index. Or you could buy it off Uniswap if you wanted an easy way to get to the Uniswap page. Just come over here to index.finance, click the stake tab, scroll down, click on index. On this page, click on the staking token link. You'll be directed to this page here. From here, you want to click on trade. And after you click on trade, you'll be directed to Uniswap. And from here, you can easily buy DEGEN with any of the tokens that you have in your wallet. Initially, when they launched, you could have just bought the index alone and staked it to earn passive income. But now they're only supporting liquidity mining for pools that are coupled with ETH. So if you are interested in earning this APY that's paid you guys in the NDX token, you would need to buy DEGEN and ETH and provide liquidity into the Uniswap pool, which is not a bad idea if you think the DEGEN token and Ethereum are not going to outperform one another. But if you believe that the DEGEN index token is going to outperform Ethereum by a lot, then it might be a better idea just to buy the index token and hold it in your wallet. Now, to end the video, I'm going to give you guys my closing thoughts on the project. In terms of the tokenomics, I think the governance vote is being somewhat used right now. There are people within the community that are buying NDX tokens, so they have a bigger voice at the table anytime a proposal is made. However, that's typically limited to a handful of whales. If they really want their token to accrue value, they're going to have to do a lot more. And they probably realize that, and that's why they have this value accrual page under construction. And I'm thinking it shouldn't be too difficult for them because they're already charging 2.5% swap fees, and you can see that the cumulative fees really add up over time. And in terms of what they can do with these fees, I mean, the possibilities are limitless. They can use some of these fees to buy some of their token off the market and burn it permanently. They can give some of these fees to token holders for staking their NDX token, or they could create an index token that's heavily weighted in NDX and use the fees that they earn to pay people who buy that index token and stake it. Overall, I'm pretty excited about the project. I think they have very good prospects. I think as more retail traders pile into the market and as the network scales and the fees get reduced, Indexes are going to become very popular with investors. Given that everybody's very busy, they don't have hours to pour into researching these tokens every week, it's a lot easier for people to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and one of these DeFi index tokens. Also, these index tokens can be put everywhere. They can be put on AMMs, they can be put on centralized exchanges, which makes it really easy for people to get exposure. Now, after watching this video, if you're curious to know how long I plan to hold a DEGEN token or when I plan to take profits, I'd recommend checking out my Patreon page. Even if you guys join one of the lower tiers, you'll get access to my private Discord channels where I disclose my moves in real time. And if you're interested in saving some time and expediting your learning, by joining one of the higher tiers, you can even have dialogue with me one-on-one. If you feel like any of these services could benefit you in any way, make sure you guys check out my Patreon link in the description below. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is CryptoOneStop signing out. Talk to you folks next time. Bye.